he came from. And I just decided to try to answer that question. And what I found was abominable. So boom. I'm a education major. So that's why I started studying this, right? So this guy right here, man, what a great guy. Clap it up. Good. What a great guy, man. You look at him, father of the common school, he created what they call them common schools and also normal schools at the same time. It's a dual name for it. But basically what they were like after everything had ended with slavery and they had to make a new education system, he was tasked with creating it. He was tasked with implementing a new system to have a new education system, basically. It's that simple. But what he created was a normal school is basically how the teachers would teach. Before you have a school, you got to have teachers that are already ready to teach, get a curriculum out, have the goals in mind, have what you want the students produce in the real world in mind. So he was tasked with creating all of that, right? Harvey done up here at Two Face. So every time I see any type of politician in any place of the world, I gotta look at them with a two face because they're gonna say one thing but do another. They're gonna present themselves as Jesus, but they're gonna act as the devil. And that's just nothing new in the sun. That's been going on. I mean, look at this guy. This has been going on for centuries. So this is nothing new under the sun. So outside looking in, you think he's a great guy. He did great for our system in America, but you know, he's a politician. So of course he's gonna lie. So boom, after being elected on the Massachusetts School Board, man was then tasked with creating the foundation of our current education model. In 1838, he was among the pioneers and established the first normal schools in Massachusetts. Like I said, the normal schools are basically how they're going to teach the teachers, what they're going to teach the teachers to teach, and how the new system was going to be exercised and implemented into our society that we live in now. So, how did this come about? Like, what did he find? What did he want our schools to produce? It's just sick, man. In 1843, he traveled to Prussia. Why the fuck would he go to Prussia? Prussia is basically modern day Germany. So why in any fuck are we going to Germany for any advice in the 1840s, mind you? Mind you, in the 1840s, after Napoleon, why are we going there? Why are we talking to them in any way, shape, or form? Right? But that's what he did. And mind you, let me go back to it. I mean, it's no cap. Because people be thinking I be capping. Let me, and that's good that you think I'm capping. That's good. That's a good thing, But let me go back to it. Where is it? Where is it? Actually, let me not be dumb and just be smart for once. Okay, boom. Under the board, at his own expense, mind you, at his own expense, that boy found something that he wanted at his own expense. He visited schools, especially in Prussia. Boom. Okay. 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 So he went to Prussia. We got that down pat, right? So he went to Prussia. And then what he found was so turned. He was like, let me come back and we got to embody this. We got to put this in our system. So he created the seventh annual journal, which he was producing in within this time frame of how he was going to create the system, what he thought was going to be the best ideas altogether for our school system to thrive. In 1852, man, 1852, he supported the decision to adopt the Prussian model in Massachusetts. Shortly after Massachusetts, then New York started with 12 districts, and then after New York, it then spread to what we have today, right? So this begs the question, and in world history, they say 70 years is one day. So you see a 9 year gap. You may think that like, oh, well, he was really like trying to figure out like what's the issues. Like he was really trying to dissect it. But nah, man, this is no time. This is really no time. This is like half your shift. Like this is like 3-4 hours, bro. This took no time to implement into the system we have now, right? So this begs the question of what the fuck is the Prussian model? Why the fuck was it so turned that he came back immediately and put it into our system? During the Napoleon Wars, the far superior Prussian army was defeated in the Battle of Jena in 1806, right? But this happened not because they fought better. This didn't happen because they lost. They let them win. They let them win because they knew Napoleon winning was going to enhance their own natural rights. It was going to enhance their own standards of living. He was going to produce results that was going to make their lives better. And the soldiers knew this. So what did the soldiers do? They let him waltz right through. When he came up, they put their guns down and they let him walk right through. He advanced to Poland, but he then froze out because it was cold as fuck in Poland. However, neither here nor there. They still let them walk right through and go up to Poland. because they knew him winning was going to mean more natural rights for them. Even though they won the war, they were still pissed. They were still like, yo, what the fuck? How in the fuck did we let them become so intelligent, so smart, so able to see what's really good for them that they're going to tell us no? Telling the system no is the worst thing you can do, because that now you're fucking up their bottom line. Now you're fucking up their money. Now you're fucking up their own agendas. And that's what they did in 1806. So boom, this took no time. And this is let me highlight this. This is because they were educating the trivium model. That's a whole nother iceberg. I should probably do something like this on the trivium model. That's a whole nother iceberg that allowed them to have critical thinking skills to make decisions like this, to say no, right? Neither here nor there right now. So, like I said, what's the Prussian model? Like, what had dude so turned that he had to put it over here, right? So boom, they had a philosopher in education. They was doing anything back then. So the philosopher of education, his name was Joan G. Fish, German dude, of course. And this is his. This isn't his like staple. This isn't what he was saying. Like he released journals saying, "Oh, should I try to find it? Is it this? Let's see. Is it this? It is this. It is this. Here go Two Face. Here go Two Face. Here go Two Face. This is 12 pages of dude basically saying, you know, education is key. We gotta have an idea of freedom. Basically saying like, we gonna turn this up a notch. Basically we gonna do our thing with this education shit, right? 12 pages of that, and that's his doctrine in creating a new education system altogether. But mind you, Two Face back at it again. Same dude. Let me go back to it. Same dude, bro. Because this was his address to the Germans basically after the war, saying how he was gonna implement the new system. Of course, he's not gonna go out saying what he was really wanted to do, which was this. This is him. This is him, Joan G. Fish. This is not me capping. This is on wax. This is like what bro said. Education should aim at destroying free will so that after pupils are thus schooled, they will be incapable throughout their lives of thinking or acting otherwise than as their schoolmasters would have wished. When this technique has been perfected, every government that has been in charge of education for more than one generation will be able to control the subject securely without the need of armies or policemen. This is on wax. This is not me pulling shit out the head. This is on wax, bro. This is what he said. This was his words. after after publishing that, and after getting the green light to make the changes that he wanted to change, which was this. I don't have the actual curriculum because I mean that was 200 years ago and it's in German. I can't understand that shit. So, but basically, what I do have is the model of the curriculum that he implemented in itself, right? Which is boom, and it's gonna sound real familiar. It's gonna sound real familiar because it's exactly the same thing that we do over here, right? Top tier, the 1%. The 1%, that it's a saying: the man with the gold makes the rules, and the one who makes the rules breaks the rules, right? So this is basically what it is now, right? I didn't slam my desk, all my papers fell. Fuck. Anyway, I'm T. So this is the 1%. These are the people who's making the rules and also breaking the rules at the same time. These are the people with all the money, all the gold, all the power. So that's the top tier. That's the 1%, right? Then we got the middle tier. So this is basically like the executive branch, right? The branch of the government that basically implements the rules of the 1%. You may think the government is the 1%, but there's a 1% over the government, because who tells the senators what to do? Who tells the politicians where to go? The 1%. It's like even the people that we look to, who we vote in, they're not even the 1%. They're not the ones really making the change, right? But we can look at this. We can look at this as like a hierarchy, like a higher level of managers, a higher level of supervisors, a higher level of administrators, right? Not the people that tell you what to do at work, but the people that tell them, who tell them what to do. Like them, those people, right? And that's the middle tier. That's the, what is that? Yeah, 5 to 8% of the population. Not very high, buddy. Not very high. And the bottom tier, that's us. That's you looking at this video. That's me talking about this shit, because I'm at the bottom. If I was at the top, I wouldn't be tripping. I wouldn't be tripping at all. But I'm at the bottom, so I'm tripping. And that's basically us. That's the infinite workforce. That's the slave labor force that they have as an education system. That's us making them rich. And that's us going to work for 10 years making the same exact salary while they're bottom end goes up, while their increase in salary goes up exponentially, while ours stay the same. So what does that create? What does that create? What does that create? What is the fact that we go to work every single day making them richer while we stay at the same level for decades? Decades, right? But mind you, this is what the system produced. This is what it was meant to do. It's no coincidence. A coincidence is a law unrecognized. That's all it is. And what law is this? Do I still got it? What law is this? I don't care. What law is this? What law is this? Oh, that's a movie. What law is this? Is this? Is this? If we can keep them down, as far as that branch goes down, as far as that branch goes up. So if we keep them down, we keep them going down, we keep going up. That's all it is, bro. That's the law of the universe. That's all it is. It's nothing too crazy. And that's just it's just and this is wait, let me go back to it. It's boom. It's boom. It's right here. And this is it in real time. The left is the TIM score, which is basically a mathematical scale of assessing the nation's scores altogether in mathematics, right? And what this is doing is showing the 90 percentile versus the 10 percentile. So basically, it's showing how big is your gap from the people who's scoring the highest grades and in the gap between the people scoring the lowest grades. Because if you have equitable schools, if you have fair schools, it shouldn't be that big of a gap. I mean, yes, of course, people with more money are going to do better. That's a given. They're going to have more resources. They're going to have smarter people around them. So they're going to do better altogether. But if you have equitable and fair schools, it shouldn't be that big of a gap. However, when it comes to this gap, look at where we at. Boom. We're pretty low, brother. We're pretty low, brother. We're pretty low, brother. We're pretty low. We're pretty low. We're doing pretty bad, man. We're not doing good. We're not doing good. It's no coincidence. That's what it's supposed to do. It's no coincidence. It's not like it's an accident. It's not like this is something that's just off a whim, off a chance. It's doing exactly what it was supposed to fucking do, right? And this is the TIM score. So this is education. If they're on the right, I got money. So this and let me mind you. Let me go back. Mind you, the TIM score is 2019. The income is 2022. This is fresh, bro. This is not like oh shit. This is fresh. And look where we at. And this is like I said, this is the income. So it's the same measurement of having a 90 percentile versus the 10 percentile, but now we're just doing money. So how much is the 10 percentile making more than the lower? The high 10 percentile making more than the low 10 percentile, right? Look where we at. Look where we at, man. Look where we at. Look where we at. This is no coincidence. It's doing what it's supposed to do. It's doing what it's supposed to do. It's keeping us level headed and even going down some years while they go up. It's doing what it's supposed to do. And mind you, how are we behind a nation that's at a civil war? These people are fighting for their rights, and we're behind them in equality. Wow. That's an invisible hand, brother. That's a really good invisible hand. And this is Virginia. And I took math and English because math and English are basically like that's your root. If you can't manipulate numbers in time or in space, you're gonna be struggling for a big part of your life. If you can't use mathematics, you're gonna be struggling. It's gonna be real hard for you to gain any real knowledge in life because numbers is really the language of the universe. So if you don't understand the language of the universe, you're gonna be struggling. And that's even in a metaphysical and a 3D earthly sense. Right? If you don't understand numbers, it's gonna be hard for you to even connect to a higher realm of consciousness. It's gonna be hard for you to really understand things that can't be understood through words. But that's another topic. And then I got reading. Let me go back to it. I didn't really get into this. My fault. We can do 2022. We can say, COVID. This is fresh. We can say, COVID. Blah, blah, blah. All right, bad bitch. Like, what are we doing, chat? What are we doing? Like, look at that. That's not like, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? These are black kids. These are Hispanic kids. It's abominable the fact that like we are consistently at the bottom at everything. Everything. This is reading. Why are we neck and neck with a group of people that don't even speak the same language? Why are we neck and neck with people who speak an entirely different language at home? It's not a coincidence, bro. It's not a coincidence. And I feel like it's not a coincidence, bro. And we're targeted, bro. It's not a coincidence. When you produce the same exact results for 150 fucking years. It's not a coincidence, bro. It's not like this is something that's just off a whim. When people say the the system is failing us, that's one of the most ignorant fucking statements you can make. To believe the system is failing us, that's ignorant as hell. This system is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. It's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. It was created to do this. It was created to have us like this. It was created to have us like this. And I'm sick and tired of my people having to be the backs of oh my god. Dude, everything is built on our backs, man. We look at America. Every time I'm driving down, I look at all this. I'm like, bro, all this came from us. There is none of this without us. There is none of this without us. None of this. There's none of this without us. We only look at America. What the same thing was happening in the Caribbeans. The same thing was happening in the Middle East. Look at those huge skyscrapers and all the gold, all the fancy cars that the Arabs have. Where did that come from? Us. All they did was cross the desert and they took us back over there. That's all they did. It's nothing new under the sun, man. It's nothing new under the sun. I'm just sick of my people being the same ones that have to continually. I understand the laws of the universe. I understand that it has to be someone at the bottom. But we gonna be at the bottom for another 1,000 years? I mean, what the fuck?